What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki, back out with another scary, terrifying, and creepy video from Slapped Ham. We're about to put two videos into one because I don't want you to have to watch things multiple times if you don't have to. So I'm taking things out we've already seen. I'm putting in things. I'm adding my own little zing to it, but it's still Slapped Ham scary compilation that we're reacting to. So grab a chair, grab some popcorn, your extra pair of pants also, but don't forget to subscribe right now by hitting that white bar icon that says subscribe. Hit the bell icon next to it so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you so very much for the love and support you guys show on my channel. If it wasn't for you, this channel would not exist, and I thank you so very much. Also, go over to Slapped Ham, give Callan some love. Callan, yep. And give him some love. Subscribe, comment, like, and share, and let's get into the scares. An overnight caregiver, or I am an overnight caregiver. I sleep on the couch. There's one female patient who doesn't walk.
An overnight carer says the woman he looks after can't walk. His hidden camera tells a different story. The man claims he works nights, caring for a bedridden woman sleeping on the couch between shifts. He'd been waking to odd sounds and the persistent feeling of being watched. So he set up a camera to record the room while he slept.
This would be chilling. So he's under the impression that she can't
At some
walk.
point during the night, the woman shifts into view. She's standing, not in a wheelchair, not propped up in bed, upright in the middle of the room, watching him sleep.
Why is she hunched over like that, man?
According to the carer, she stood there for hours. He had no idea until he checked the footage the next morning.
She stood like this for an hour?
A woman who shouldn't be able to stand, standing motionless in the dark, watching the person paid to look after her.
It's like watching that Amityville Horror where that guy was like bedridden, like he was on death or life support, and the house is what brought from Amityville Horror is what brought him back to life. It's, yeah.
For
this
hours,
reminds me of that.
without making a sound. One of the more unsettling, mysterious videos to surface this year.
What if you woke up and saw that? Oh, I'd be screaming like a girl.
Specialist Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen taking their first steps outside for their historic test flight.
The astronauts are standing right in front of the crowd, but on the camera screens, they've vanished.
It's
a big
really
smile.
Huh?
I love that.
It's a great day for us. Great day for this team.
A few words from Reed. Great day for us, the team, he said.
After the Artemis
What?
2 crew returned from their recent lunar mission, people gathered to photograph them. The footage looks ordinary at first, rows of onlookers lifting phones and cameras, snapping pictures of 4 astronauts posing a few meters away. Then watch the viewfinders. On screen after screen, the space where the astronauts should be appears empty. The crowd can clearly see them with their own eyes. The cameras apparently cannot.
I'm so confused.
The reel went viral fast and the comments split hard. Some viewers called it a glitch in the Matrix. Others called NASA CGI kings and insisted the whole event was staged. A smaller group pointed out that filming someone else's screen through your own phone can do strange things to what's actually there. 4 astronauts in plain sight and the cameras can't find them.
Oh, hold on, let me see. Want to see? Watch it. Does it to this? I'm gonna lose it. Okay, they're there. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I know I'm that
4
there,
astronauts
but
in plain sight and the cameras can't find them. Whatever that is, it isn't nothing.
This one's a little peculiar.
She took a screenshot during a FaceTime call with her boyfriend. It was only later, looking back at it, that she noticed something eerie.
Something was behind him. Could that be a reflection?
Top right corner, just above and behind him, faint, dark, but unmistakable. 2 eyes, a nose, the outline of someone peering into frame.
It's like him, but warped into scariness.
According to the poster, her boyfriend was home alone. The image was shared to
Odd.
Reddit's r/ghosts forum by user CertainDrink7784, where it pulled in nearly 4,000 upvotes and was flagged by moderators as a captured apparition.
But look at like his face. He's got scars all over his face.
Skeptics put it down to pareidolia, the brain's habit of finding faces in random shapes, especially in low-light compression. The counter from believers is simpler. If he was alone in the house, what exactly is that behind him?
I was thinking it was like a reflection or something. Of course, comment your thoughts below.
A quiet road in Honduras, a surveillance camera rolling through the night, nothing in the frame, and then this.
Probably the camera can't keep up with the shutter speed. Yeah, it's just that the camera
A figure
can't keep
cuts
up.
across the road at speed, and then it's gone.
Sounds like he's wearing flip-flops or sandals. I think somebody's just running down the
footage was
street.
highlighted by Coast to Coast AM and spread quickly from there. Some viewers put it down to motion blur and low-resolution
That's what it is.
compression. Others see a translucent figure that doesn't belong in a physical world.
The camera can't make up the image, so it just
Among the
tries.
mysterious videos doing the rounds on paranormal forums right now, this is one of the few where even the skeptics pause the playback and lean in.
I mean, I leaned in, but it's just somebody running down the street.
Same stranger, same position,
I used
directly
to love
behind him.
running.
In 2 different countries, 2
Military ruined it for me.
different years, 2 of the hardest marathons in the world to qualify for.
I have some newspaper, a local newspaper, doing a story on me.
Marathon runner Chris McConnell, known online as Farmer on the Run, says it took him 10 years to get into both the Berlin and Tokyo marathons.
Wow.
After the races, he sent his official race photos to a journalist. The journalist wrote back with an odd question.
Hey, there's something really odd about the 2 photos that you sent me. What's with that guy running behind you in both pictures?
The same runner, right behind McConnell, in Berlin and again in Tokyo.
Is it just a coincidence?
McConnell had no idea who the man was. He traced the bib number and identified him as Aristophanes Stavru.
I was thinking through how impossible this is.
Here's where it gets strange. McConnell says Stavro typically runs 2 to 3 minutes slower than him, in marathon terms about half a mile of separation. For them to be in the exact same spot at the exact same time in 2 different cities in 2 different years is already statistically brutal. Now factor in how few official photos get published from each race. Out of hundreds of thousands of shutter clicks, only a handful make it online, and the same pair of runners in the same formation ended up in both.
So how did this happen? We are
The
in
pair eventually
Twilight
connected
Zone.
on Instagram, found a few more odd overlaps between them, and now plan to meet intentionally at the New York Marathon in 2027.
I am blown away by this. This is like the craziest coincidence ever.
Some people have called it proof we're living in a simulation.
No, we're
Others
not.
just call it the kind of mysterious video that makes you stop scrolling. Either way, 2 photos, 2 continents, 1 stranger who somehow ended up in both.
I mean, that could be a coincidence. I don't know.
An influencer walks through the rusted lockers of an abandoned school in China.
Hand reaches from locker in a band. Whoop, nope.
Now filming the empty corridor. The building's been derelict for years. Nothing should be moving.
万人鼓为堂。操他奶奶个上！
A hand slides out of one of the lockers.
That was like the Grudge, the Ju-on.
Pale,
Ah!
slow, reaching into the hallway from inside a metal box barely big enough to hold a school bag.
That was from underneath.
The explorer recoils, and honestly, it's hard to blame them.
Nope, I would have
The
crapped a
obvious
brick.
explanation is a friend crouched inside, waiting for the camera to pan past. It's the kind of prank that plays perfectly on short-form video, and plenty of viewers have called it exactly that. But the lockers look too narrow,
No.
the skin looks too pale, and the movement, slow, deliberate, exploratory, doesn't quite match someone trying to scare their mate for clicks.
Heck no.
A closed pantry door, sitting still in an empty house. 18 seconds of security footage.
Love
And
the
then
walls.
This.
That's a lot of snacks.
The door swings outward on its own. No hand on the handle, no body behind it, no pet crossing the frame.
So,
The clip was posted to the Slapped Ham
does the ghost want a snack?
subreddit by user NarrowExpression47, whose motion-activated system triggered the recording. They say this isn't the first strange thing that's happened in the house, just the first one the camera caught. No
Oh.
explanation, no follow-up, just a door that opened by itself in a room where no one was standing.
Alrighty.
Around 11:15
roof?
on a weekday morning in Whittier, California, a foul-smelling
Mystery ice chunk crashes through Witter AD roof.
chunk of ice smashed through the roof
ADU
of a
roof.
backyard unit and landed on the couch.
The man who lives in the apartment says it sounded like an explosion, but there were no electrical or gas issues, just a jagged chunk of ice that had fallen into his living room.
That's frozen poop stuff. It's like Joe Dirt. They think it's a meteor. No, that's frozen waste from a plane.
Homeowner Thanya Magana says her tenant Yuda
I'm
Grau rang her in a panic. When Magana arrived, she found shattered pieces of dirty ice across the couch, the table, the floor. The largest chunks were still solid enough to hold, and the smell was wrong. Nothing like rain or hail.
But what was it? What did it smell like?
Not knowing what else to do, they bagged the ice and
They kind of look like salt licks.
put it in the freezer. We just said, let's stuff it in a bag, put it in the freezer and see what it is.
We just said, let's put it in a bag and stuff it in the freezer and see what it is.
Grau had been sitting on that same couch moments before the ice came through. Magana told NBC4, the first thing that comes to mind is that he probably wouldn't be here with us.
I keep replaying it and just thinking of the what if. And yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is he
Great, I'm gonna have to put a steel plate above me just in case.
probably wouldn't be here with us.
Magana pulled flight tracking data and found 3 aircraft in the area at the time, 1 Southwest and 2 Delta. When NBC reached out, both airlines denied any maintenance issues or irregularities with those flights. Meteorologist David Bigger, who's also a private pilot, offered one theory. He says chunks like this can form when moisture from a leaking valve or failing heater on a plane freezes at altitude. As the aircraft descends, the ice breaks free and falls. Sometimes called blue ice, often dirty or discolored depending on the source. The FAA said it hadn't received a report but would investigate. NASA didn't respond.
So can you like test
So
it?
there's a foul-smelling chunk of ice sitting in a Whittier freezer with no airline willing to claim it, no agency able to explain it, and a couch with a hole in the ceiling above it. One of the more unusual, mysterious videos to come out of Southern California this year, and the evidence is still frozen, waiting.
Almost died by ice in the face. That's creepy. Weird news roundup. I like these.
Here are this week's weird and paranormal headlines. London, a British woman in her 40s, identified in medical literature only as AB, reports hearing an unfamiliar voice claiming to have worked at Great Ormond Street Hospital. The voice gives her 3 verifiable facts about the hospital she has no prior knowledge of, then instructs her to seek a brain scan. The Royal Free Hospital finds a meningioma and an inflamed brainstem. Surgery follows in 1984. The voice stops after the operation and never returns. The case, published by psychiatrist Ikechukwu Azwan.
Could this be one of those cases where it was like a twin that was inside that she consumed? Again, it's kind of weird to say that, but there was I can't remember if it was like house But they found out that the deceased sibling told its partner, or the person that was alive, that there was a brain tumor, and it was, yeah, you got to look up the episode.
Onye in the British Medical Journal in 1997 resurfaced this week in a live science deep dive and is now trending across Reddit and paranormal podcasts. From a voice that saved a life to a statue that nearly cost one. Torreon, Mexico, around 1 a.m. on Thursday, the 9th of April at Bosque Venustiano Carranza Park. 5 teenagers, 4 young men and a young woman climb a decades-old concrete statue.
Is that one of the dwarfs from Snow White?
Of Tontine,
like Dobby
Spanish
or
language
something?
name for
Dopey?
dopey, long rumoured by locals to be haunted or cursed. The statue collapses under their weight. 18-year-old Axel Rosas suffers a partial toe amputation. The city's public services department says it'll attempt to restore the figure. Coast to Coast AM picked up the story on the 14th, from a haunted statue in Mexico to an Australian UFO case that's just turned 60. Clayton South, Melbourne. The 6th of April 1966, during morning break, over 200 students and staff at Westall High School witness a large circular silver object.
Oh, what did you do at school, honey? Oh, I saw a UFO saucer, Mom.
Maneuvering silently over the school oval before descending into the Grange Reserve. Men in uniform arrive within the hour. Original news footage disappears. 60 years on, no government explanation has ever been issued. Australian Story aired a new documentary this month featuring surviving eyewitnesses Tanya Vassie and retired school principal Ken Stallard. In the same broadcast, John Sutcliffe, one of the last surviving members of the 1966 Mildura highball balloon team, directly refutes the long-standing weather balloon theory, stating no highball balloon was involved that day. From unexplained sightings over Melbourne to 46 unreleased ones in Washington. Washington, D.C. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, Republican of Florida and chair of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets, sets a Pentagon deadline of the 14th of April to release 46 classified UFO videos. The deadline lapses, no files delivered. Luna posts on X that the Pentagon claims
half the stuff they have are little blips and whatever.
Her letter never reached the appropriate authorities. Her 2-word response, quote, "How convenient." On the 16th, she escalates, stating the president has authorized the release and, quote, "Whoever is trying to be cute at the Pentagon can take a hike." Newsweek, IB Times and Bro Bible all run coverage between the 15th and 17th, from a case being actively buried to one that just got solved after 34 years. Austin, Texas, the 6th of December 1991, 4 teenage girls, 13-year-old Amy Ayers, 17-year-old Eliza Thomas, and sisters Jennifer and Sarah Harbison, aged 17 and 15, murdered during a closing time attack at an I can't believe it's yogurt shop. The building then set on fire. 4 men wrongly accused, 2 convicted, all eventually cleared. In September 2025, DNA evidence identifies the killer as Robert Eugene Brashes, a serial offender who died by suicide in a Missouri police standoff in 1999. On the 19th of February, Travis County Judge Dana Blasey formally exonerates Robert Springsteen, Michael Scott, Forrest Wellborn, and Maurice Pierce. The case headlined the 2026 Cold Case Conference in San Antonio this week. And that's the roundup. Back to the countdown.
Gosh, that's a lot of news. Woo! Weird news, I should say.
A man camping near Big Bear Lake in California spots something odd in the sky. It isn't a plane. It isn't a helicopter.
UFO dodges laser. Was it shot by a stormtrooper?
It moves in ways he can't explain. So he grabs a green laser pointer and aims it straight at it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. It's actually illegal.
The moment the beam makes contact, the object reacts. Not drifting, not gliding, sharp sudden turns, the kind of instant directional changes a regular aircraft couldn't pull off.
Drone, maybe? I don't know.
It looks, frame by frame, like the object is dodging. The footage was filmed in 2023 and shared widely by the Instagram account creepy.fact, and it reignited an argument that's been running for years. Is this something genuinely unknown or something ordinary moving in a way that only looks intelligent?
And no, it's not a Chinese balloon.
Want to see more mysterious videos? Then hit that subscribe button and turn on all channel notifications.
Tickle
that
the
way
like
you'll
button.
always know when we drop our scary video compilations.
I love them. Do it. It's
In
free
July
when you subscribe.
1989, a police helicopter was sweeping the slopes of Mount Asahidaki in northern Japan, searching
Asi Hadaki.
for two
Okay.
hikers who'd gone missing in Daisetsuzan National Park. The mountain is the tallest on the island of Hokkaido, a dormant volcano wrapped in dense forest and steep
Not gonna lie, it looks like an earth booty hole.
rocky ridges. It's beautiful country. It's also the kind of country that swallows people. From the air, the pilot spotted something on the ground that didn't belong.
Yeti?
A huge SOS sign laid out across a clearing only a few miles from the trail. It was enormous. 19 birch trunks, some up to 5 meters long, stacked 3 logs high. The kind of signal you can't miss from the sky. And
Somebody
by pure
spelled it.
luck, when the helicopter set down beside it, the 2 missing hikers emerged from the trees nearby. Tired, disoriented, but alive.
Wow.
Should have been the end of the story. Except when the rescue team asked the men about the sign, both shook their heads. Neither had built it. Neither had even seen it before the helicopter landed. That's when a different kind of search began. If the rescued hikers hadn't built the sign, someone else had, and whoever that someone was, they were almost certainly still out there on the mountain. Police returned to the area the following day and began combing the ground around the clearing. It didn't take long to find what they were looking for. Human remains scattered across the forest floor. Bones, not a body, heavily disturbed, bearing bite marks consistent with scavenging by native wildlife. Whoever this was, they'd been dead for some time. The bones were sent to Asahikawa Medical University for analysis. The initial report came back with an identification. The remains belonged to a woman. That result stopped investigators in their tracks. No women had been reported missing in the area, but a young man had been 5 years earlier, in 1984. His name was Kenji Iwamura. He'd been staying at a lodge near the mountain, hiking alone, and he'd told the lodge owner his plans for the day before heading out to climb. When he failed to check out as expected, the lodge owner rang the police. A search followed. Nothing was found. Kenji Iwamura had simply vanished into the park, and over the years the case had gone cold. The bones couldn't be his. The initial report was clear they were female, except the initial report was wrong. When the remains were examined a second time, the finding was corrected. The bones belonged to a male after all. Mistakes like that aren't as rare as people assume, especially with heavily weathered or incomplete remains. But in this case, the correction reopened everything. The timeline matched, the location matched, and a short distance from where the bones had been scattered, police had already found something that confirmed what they were starting to suspect.
What the?
A backpack. Inside were the usual things you'd expect on an overnight hike. A towel, soap, toothpaste, the ordinary contents of someone who'd planned to come back.
Cassette tapes?
But tucked in among them was a small tape recorder and 4 cassette tapes. 3 of the tapes were harmless. Theme songs from popular shows of the era, the kind of thing you might record off the radio to listen to on the trail. Officers could have dismissed them as nothing, but they rewound the 4th tape and pressed play. What came through the speaker was a man's voice. He spoke for 2 minutes and 17 seconds, not screaming, not sobbing. The tone is the part that stayed with people, slow, deliberate, carefully enunciated, as if he knew exactly how important each word was going to be to whoever eventually found it. He explained where he was. He said he was on a cliff, and he couldn't move. He'd seen a helicopter earlier, he said, in the spot where he'd originally been. Now he was somewhere else. Somewhere the bamboo grass had grown too thick to push through. He asked plainly for someone to come and lift him out of it. That was it. 2 minutes, 17 seconds. A man on a cliff asking for help, knowing help wasn't coming. When police traced the geography against his words, the first problem emerged. The cassette, the backpack, and the bones had all been found in the same area, within yards of the SOS sign itself. But the man on the tape described being on a cliff, and the sign wasn't on a cliff. It was in open ground below.
Was this for somebody
If he'd recorded
else?
that message from the cliff, how had everything he owned ended up at the bottom? The
That's
trail Kenji
weird.
Iwamura had been hiking has a known quirk. At a critical junction, there are two large boulders that serve as natural markers. They look nearly identical. One boulder marks the safer route, which heads back down toward town. The other marks a route that leads through thick bamboo grass and up to a steep cliff. Police believe Kenji Iwamura took the wrong boulder. Once he realized his mistake, they think he tried to pick his way back, and at some point ended up trapped on the cliff face described in the recording. The helicopter he mentioned hearing was likely part of the original 1984 search, passing over once, perhaps twice, and never returning to that particular ridge. The working theory is that after the helicopter failed to come back, he made a decision. He'd climb down himself. It was dangerous. But it was better than waiting on a cliff while the light faded and no one came. Somewhere during that descent, he fell. His remains showed fractures in one leg and in his upper body, injuries consistent with a serious fall from height. That would explain the gap between the location on the tape and the location the bones were found. It would explain why he never recorded a follow-up. It would explain a lot. But it doesn't explain the sign. 19 birch trunks up to 5 meters long, stacked 3 high. A man with a fractured leg and upper body injuries couldn't have felled those trees. He didn't have the tools. There was no hatchet in his backpack, no axe, no saw, nothing found near the remains, nothing recovered from the surrounding area.
So how
And even a healthy, uninjured hiker working alone would have struggled to drag logs that size into position and stack them 3 deep without help. On top of that, the tape itself. Kenji Iwamura never mentioned being hurt. He didn't say he'd fallen, didn't say he couldn't walk. What he said was that the bamboo was too thick. That's the detail of a man stuck, not a man broken. If he was physically capable of recording a clear, calm voice message about bamboo grass, he wasn't yet the man with the fractures. And if the fractures came later during the fall, he wasn't the man who then felled 19 trees and built
the SOS person, is that person still up there?
A signal. So who did?
Don't go up there by yourself,
The media
apparently.
arrived within days. Reporters swarmed the site running their own searches alongside the police. And it was a television journalist, not a detective, who made the next discovery. She noticed a hollow in the trunk of a tree near the scene. A natural cavity big enough to reach into. Police hadn't opened it. Inside, she found Kenji Iwamura's driver's license, and his basketball shoes, and some jewelry, 2 cameras, a notebook, and a human skull. It had been placed deliberately, not dropped, not wedged there by animals, not carried in by scavengers, positioned inside the hollow beside the documents that identified the man it had belonged to. Police had no explanation for it. None of those items had been in the backpack. The cassette recorder and the tapes had been left inside the pack, but the license, the cameras, the shoes, the notebook, and the skull itself had been removed, carried to the tree, and stored in the cavity. There's no scenario in which an injured, dying man does that.
No.
There's no scenario in which wildlife does that either.
No.
Animals scatter remains. They don't sort through belongings, separate identifying documents, and tuck them into a tree hollow alongside a skull. Someone did. Someone found Kenji Iwamura, or what was left of him, and chose to curate a small collection of his things inside a tree, and then, apparently, said nothing to anyone. No anonymous tip, no call, no report to police. Just a skull in a hollow and a license beside it, waiting to be found.
What the actual
When police
crap?
eventually spoke to Kenji Iwamura's parents, they showed them the personal items and played them the tape. His parents recognized the belongings, the license, the shoes, the jewelry, all his. The tape was a different matter. They listened to the recording of a man calmly explaining that he was stranded on a cliff and waiting for rescue, and when it ended, they couldn't say for certain that the voice was their son's. The audio is clean. It isn't muffled or distant. It's one of the clearest pieces of evidence in the entire case. And his own parents, listening to it, weren't sure. Investigators then turned their attention back to the sign itself. Mount Asahidake isn't a gentle environment. Heavy snow falls through winter. Seasonal rain can be torrential. Ground vegetation
So it sounds like a mountain that you shouldn't go up.
grows fast and thick through the warmer months.
Oh, man.
An SOS sign built from stacked birch logs and left sitting in a forest clearing should have been disrupted within a season or two.
Right?
Toppled by weather, overgrown by grass, reclaimed by the
From the 80s, that would have been fallen and rotted out completely.
same forest that had reclaimed Kenji Iwamura's bones. Instead, it was pristine. No overgrowth, no collapse. The logs were still in position, stacked 3 high, clearly visible from the air.
Like a head
When
scratcher.
investigators compared older aerial photographs of the area, they narrowed down when the sign had appeared. It had been built sometime between 1984 and 1987. At
But how?
minimum, it was 2 years old when the helicopter spotted it, potentially 5. And in all those years, through all those winters, nothing had moved it. Officially, the Mount Asahidake case is considered solved. Kenji Iwamura's remains were recovered, his belongings were identified. The broad arc, a lone hiker takes the wrong boulder, gets stranded on a cliff, records a message, tries to climb down, falls, hangs together. The Japanese police closed the file, but closing a file isn't the same as answering its questions. Nobody knows who built the sign. Nobody knows how it survived multiple seasons on an exposed mountainside without falling apart.
I have no
Nobody
idea.
knows why Kenji Iwamura's skull was separated from his other remains and placed in a hollow in a tree,
Somebody had
alongside
found
a
him.
curated selection of his belongings, while his cassette recorder and tapes were left in the backpack where he'd packed them. Nobody knows why his own parents, hearing his voice for the last time, couldn't quite recognize it. The most straightforward explanation is that another lost hiker, someone whose name never made it into the record, stumbled onto the scene sometime between 1984 and the rescue. That person, for reasons of their own, built the sign, perhaps for themselves, perhaps for Kenji Iwamura, and collected the items into the tree before eventually walking out of the forest without ever reporting what they'd seen.
Why wouldn't you report
It's possible. It's the sort of thing that happens in places where old customs around death, the dead, and the spirits of the mountain still run quietly under the surface of modern life. In some Japanese folk traditions, disturbing human remains without proper rites is considered deeply unlucky, and handling a skull carries particular weight. It's also possible that whoever built that sign wasn't lost at all, and that the story playing out below them wasn't meant to be found. 70-odd kilometers from the nearest city in the bamboo and birch of Hokkaido's oldest national park, someone stacked 19 enormous logs into a cry for help that no one answered for years. Someone arranged a dead man's license and shoes beside his own skull inside a tree. Someone recorded their voice onto a cassette, or sounded close enough to a man's own son that his parents couldn't tell the difference. And then they walked away and left the mountain to keep its answers.
Right, I'm freaking
That was
out a little
crazy.
bit here because I'm not one to believe in ghosts and all that kind of shit, but
Willow Hunter just moved into a new flat with his cat Carrie, and within a day she's acting strange. She'll be sitting next to him on the sofa, then snap her head toward the corridor, jump down, and dart over to investigate something he can't see.
She sees
when I
the dead
first moved
people.
in, she was sat on the sofa right here and she just kept looking really fast into the corridor and then like just turning back and just acting normal and then just shooting up, like jumping down onto the floor to have a look in the corridor to see what's going on. Nothing going on.
The first night in the new place, she did it again, in bed. Right after she looked, Willow Hunter heard a bang from somewhere in the flat.
And then I went to bed on the same night. She started doing it when I was in the bed with her. And then when she did it, I heard this bang right after she'd looked. And that creeped me out a bit. But now, she's just refusing to go downstairs.
By morning, Carrie is refusing to go downstairs at all. Willow Hunter offers tuna and treats, but she
baby.
keeps running back upstairs every time he tries to carry her down.
He's like, unhand me, you human.
There you go, Corey, there's your food.
Oh, this is the guy that has
She'd come
that
down for a taste
door.
of it earlier, but she came down,
Oh, poor baby.
had a little bite, and I came down. She just freaked out and ran upstairs. Corey, come on, come back down.
Like, nope, I'm going
She's
upstairs.
straight back upstairs.
She does not like to be down there.
Here.
Willow Hunter says he's never been into the paranormal, but Carrie isn't his first cat.
What if you move the food upstairs? Will she eat it then?
Her son Moses once let out a single, loud, unnatural meow and died 5 minutes later. Moses had been fit and healthy with no warning, no illness, and no obvious cause.
I was just doing that and she just like did this really weird meow, and it wasn't as scary as when Moses did that, because when he did that meow I knew something was wrong. I went running to him and he was just, well, he died within like 5 minutes. It was horrible, but yeah, I hope nothing like that happens
It's
to
like
her.
a horror film where they attack the animal.
You alright, Corey? You want to come back down?
Now Kari has started making the exact same sound.
Hopefully she'll be alright. That was really weird. Well, I didn't catch it on camera, she just came downstairs.
Now here's where things start to get really eerie. Here's some security footage captured at 3 in the morning showing Kari in the kitchen.
Something is going on. Oh.
The activity didn't stop with the cat. Days later, Willow Hunter heard his kitchen tap turn on by itself at 3 a.m. and pulled up his security camera once more.
Does that go downstairs or is that just a closet?
Then there's the photo. While clearing space on his hard drive, Willow Hunter found a picture taken on the staircase. Kari is clearly visible at the top of the stairs.
So we've got Kari up there. So that's Kari there. Who the f is that?
At the bottom of the stairs, there's a second cat, and Willow Hunter has no way of explaining its presence.
I only have one cat. I've only got one cat, Kari. I don't have a second cat.
So what's actually going on in this apartment? An otherwise healthy cat dying within minutes, objects moving on their own, and a sinister vibe that seems to be getting worse.
Didn't he say he had another cat named Moses? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone with Slapped Ham
Love
today.
to hear your theories on this one in the comments below.
Holy buckets.
Right.
Definitely
so
put your comments down below.
There. So that's Kari there.
Skinwalker?
Who the f is that?
That was creepy. More
A
puppies
woman
and
ran a
kitties.
photo of her dog through an AI filter, expecting it to fill in the empty space around him. Instead, the filter showed her dead mother sitting on the couch beside him.
Oh.
The filter is called Bittersweet Memories, and it's been trending on TikTok. You feed it a photo and the AI generates a wider angle of the same scene, pushing out the frame, filling in the space the camera missed. It's supposed to be a bit of fun. This particular woman snapped a photo of her dog on the couch and ran it through. When the expanded image came back, there was a figure beside the dog who hadn't been there.
And it just randomly put
a woman sitting on the couch, not just any woman, but one who looked exactly like her late mother. She posted side-by-side comparisons with photos of her mum from when she was alive. The hair, the posture, the face, all consistent with someone who'd been gone for some time.
Oh.
The first instinct was that the AI had glitched and generated a random figure, but the resemblance was too specific. It was as though her mother had been sitting on that couch the whole time, just out of frame.
That's
the reaction
creepy.
in the comments split. Some viewers found the image comforting, a digital glimpse of someone they could no longer hold. Others were less convinced. Several pointed out that the figure looked subtly wrong, distorted in a way they couldn't articulate.
It was
a number suggested it wasn't her mother at all, but something more sinister, a demonic entity wearing the face of a loved one to draw her in. If the figure is her mother, the AI is doing something it shouldn't be able to do. If it isn't, something has been sitting on her couch all along, and now it has a face.
That's a bit creepy. I'm not doing that in my house. Nope.
This tree, I know this tree well. This thing, that thing is not real.
It's not in any of his childhood
What is he saying? The tree's moving?
photos. It doesn't appear on Google Maps satellite view, and the man who lives there says it's getting closer to his house every day.
I feel like it's been getting closer to me. I went out there the other night and measured it 377 feet away from me. I measured it this morning 345 feet away from me, and the is getting closer. It's getting closer to me.
The man behind the now viral moving tree saga is TikTok user Sorry to Your Father, a new
Walk up to the tree. I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Are you moving? Because I can see it. You know, I would put a trail cam on the tree that's next to it, and I put a tree cam on this thing.
New Jersey local whose pinned videos have racked up tens of millions of views. He spotted a tree near his property that he was certain hadn't always been there and decided to measure it.
I already measured the distance from the porch to the fence. Here we go, exact spot, and we're gonna walk it out. Same exact line as yesterday. Going to measure by foot and then do the math in inches, and then we'll figure out how many feet away it is.
The first reading clocked the tree at 377 feet from his porch. The next morning, he measured again and got 345 feet. By the following day, it had crept to 339, then 337. Then, in a twist nobody saw coming, it actually moved 3 inches the other way.
This is absolutely wild. Just measured it 3 feet 5 fucking inches. It moved away 3 inches.
He's verified the measurements multiple ways. Tape measure yarn from the exact same spot. Even a rock left on the ground to make sure the yarn wasn't lying to him. His audience has affectionately nicknamed the tree Treebird, and they tune in daily for new readings.
I mean, at this point, I'm genuinely freaked out and questioning life and what's real and what's not. There is no way, man. There's no way. I knew it. Fake ass tree, dude.
According to the uploader, no birds ever land on or near it. He claims he sat and watched the tree for 2.5 hours straight
What if you
and
cut
didn't
down?
see a single one approach.
I also haven't seen one bird land in this tree. I've been staring at it for
What if you
about
take a
2.5
drill bit
hours.
and
Not
drill it
one
into the tree?
bird.
Then
What comes
things
out
take
of
a
it?
genuinely odd turn. In one of his follow-up videos, he tells
I'd sit there and be like, I'm gonna watch you until you move. And then in like a week later,
his audience he received a phone call that morning. Someone, he says, told him to stop filming the tree.
I do have to say that I did receive a phone call this morning, and I was told that I need to stop filming this tree, which makes it even weirder.
Skeptics are calling the whole saga an elaborate bit. His TikTok bio reads, "I'm definitely not supposed to be here and I have no idea what I'm doing," which has done little to settle the debate. Others have pointed out that the tree was probably always there, his measurements drift slightly each time, and the Google Maps gap is just an outdated satellite image. But none of those explanations account for the phone call.
And honestly, I've been getting some calls. I had someone show up at my house, and this is just really getting out of fucking hand at this point. They've been telling me that I need to stop filming this tree. And honestly, it's getting to the point now where I'm genuinely freaked the fuck out.
Every morning, Treebird is still showing up out his window, and every morning, this dude is still measuring it.
Look at this. Look at this. Treebird, what the f is going on? You used to be in front of this tree. Now you're behind this tree.
that's so weird. Oh man.
Dustin Lee Frazier has spent years filming scary videos inside abandoned buildings deep in the Appalachian Mountains, and he's seen most of what those woods have to offer.
Why are they?
This was the house that finally made him leave.
Ooh, I don't like that. Should I go get my
What was that?
REM card?
You saw that, right?
Ask questions.
It's like a face. Hold the phone. Was I seeing things?
Mountains, and he's seen most of what those woods have to offer. This was the house that finally made him leave.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Bro, did you just see it? Look at it. What, when he turns to the right? Look.
Woods have to offer. This was the house that finally made him leave.
Ooh, I don't like that. Should I go get my REM card?
What's that?
And then we can like ask questions.
Am I losing my mind?
Property is near Wytherville, Virginia, and looks like it hasn't been lived in for years.
I think I'm just trying to freak myself out. Okay.
Dustin's moving through it when something can be heard tapping from inside the walls.
I heard that.
He decides to run a spirit box session, asking if anything's in the house with him.
I'll do it like that, I guess.
Then, while he's focused on the box, his camera catches something behind him.
If there is anyone here, who would like to communicate with us? Who would like to communicate with us? Who would like to communicate with us?
And from somewhere further off in the building, he hears something else.
Should have put the REM pod down there. The light's going off. Why is the sound not going off?
Dustin's clearly rattled. He mentions that local hiking trails in the area have been closed by authorities in recent days, and wonders aloud whether a bear has gotten into the property.
There's something over there.
That does not sound like a bear.
Then he hears something on the roof above him.
Bro, there's something that keeps moving in that room.
Head north.
God damn it.
That's enough for Dustin, and he leaves the property in a hurry. A black bear sheltering in an abandoned structure could explain the growl and the rooftop sounds. Black bears are common in the Appalachians, and an empty building is a natural place for one to hole up. The knocking could be pipes or thermal expansion in old timber. The shadow could be his own torch passing across the wall. But the combination, the knocking, the shadow, the growl, the scraping above his head, was enough to drive someone with years of experience straight out the door.
I highly doubt that. Well, people also say that he's faking the majority of his stuff. But we're here for the scares.
In a 1980s photograph from a remote Texas cemetery,
Woman in spring dress seen at the cemetery. Oh, she's right behind the tombstone.
an old man stands beside a tombstone for a portrait. Behind the stone, half hidden, something else is in the frame. The man visible in the photo is the photographer's great-grandfather. 3 family members visited the cemetery that afternoon, and they were the only people there. The great-grandfather, the user's father who took the picture, and an uncle who was somewhere off-frame at the time.
So who's the little girl?
But peeking out from behind the tombstone is the fabric of a spring dress, a patch of pink where there shouldn't be anything at all.
Kind of looks like she's wearing yellow gloves, black hair maybe, brunette.
That's strange in itself because the photograph was taken during winter. The grass is dead, the trees are bare, and the great-grandfather is wearing a jacket. Whoever's behind the...
Looks like, is that 1881? 1812?
Gravestone isn't dressed for the weather. According to the Reddit user, the family never noticed the figure when the photo was taken. None of the 3 men saw anyone else at the cemetery that day. It was only decades later, going through the family album, that the dress in the corner of the frame was spotted. The user admits someone could have been forgotten over the years. A distant relative, a friend who tagged along, somebody never mentioned again. But every adult who would have remembered is gone now, and there's no record of a 4th person.
What?
The great-grandfather was the only person in front of the camera that afternoon, but he wasn't the only thing in the photograph.
That's creepy. Ugh. Makes me want to go through some of my old photos. Just to see if there's
Bill is
anything.
talking to his live stream audience from a patch of forest with a reputation for paranormal activity when the comments start telling him to turn around.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Dead drop.
Did you see something behind me? What the fuck? What was that?
Bill, who goes by Shat Myself Paranormal on TikTok,
Shat myself.
runs a channel dedicated to live streaming from famously haunted locations, and he's built a loyal following doing it. On this night, he's broadcasting alone from somewhere dark and quiet, talking through what's around him.
Shat myself.
It appears in the frame for a split second before he notices.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Oh my god.
Could it be just a reflection maybe on him?
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
Did you see something behind me? What the fuck? What was that?
WTF?
When Bill finally looks, there's nothing there. Just the same dark, quiet forest he's been describing for the last few minutes.
What the fuck was that cut? They said cut. Did I just see a face behind me?
Because the broadcast was live, the footage wasn't spliced together after the fact. What viewers saw played out in real time, on every screen tuned into the stream, which makes it harder to dismiss as a video trick.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Deborah.
Did you see something behind me?
Did it say Deborah?
What was that?
And Slapped Ham, you're gonna
The
kill
students
my
at Fort Simcoe
dreams
Job
tonight.
Corps were cleaning the gym when they heard someone screaming from the music room. They ran toward the sound and found a fellow student bolting out of the room in tears, holding his phone. He'd been alone in the music room trying to take a photo of his new shoes for Instagram. When he looked at what he'd captured, there was something in the frame that shouldn't have been there. In the top corner of the frame, there's the figure of a young boy. The student is adamant he was alone in the room, no one else was there, and the door had been closed.
Bro,
The scary photo was submitted to us directly on our Slapped Ham subreddit by a user who's since changed their handle to ProperStomach9620.
Proper stomach.
He'd arrived with the others when the screaming started and says his mind is telling him what the figure is, but he doesn't want to believe it.
That's not pareidolia, man.
Fort
That
Simcoe
is...
wasn't always a Job Corps campus. The site was established as a military fort in the 1850s, before being converted into a Native American boarding school, the kind of institution where thousands of children were taken from their families, abused, and in many documented cases, never made it home.
What the flip is wrong
Whatever
with people
appeared
back
in
in
the
the
corner
day?
of that photograph chose a building where children once lived and didn't survive. The student didn't go back to take a second one.
What the crap, dude?
An abandoned hospital shuttered for more than 10 years, and on the night this man pointed his camera at it from a neighbouring building, one of the rooms on the upper floor was lit.
Probably Sam and Kobe. They're ghost hunting.
He focuses on the lit room, trying to work out who could possibly be inside a building that's supposed to be empty.
Somebody just walked by. Okay, it's not Sam
A
and
figure
Kobe.
moves across the room, pale, partially transparent, drifting from one side of the window to the other before disappearing out of frame. The hospital is in Tlatelolco, a neighborhood in central Mexico City. It closed over a decade ago, and there's no record of squatters, no construction crew, no reason for anyone to be inside the building at all.
Who or what is it?
Skeptics have argued the figure is a trick of light, a reflection from another window, or an artifact of the camera's autofocus catching a smudge on the glass. But none of those explain the room being lit. Reflections don't generate their own illumination, and whatever the figure was, it was moving inside a space that had no power, no occupants, and no reason to glow at all.
Why is that Sam and Kobe?
Archie and his wife walk through St. Leo Cemetery in Leominster, Massachusetts every day. On June 23rd, 2023, their pug started barking at something they couldn't see. There was no one else in the cemetery, no groundskeeper, no flowers being planted, nobody visiting a grave. Just Archie, his wife, the dog, and whatever the dog could sense. They walked through a crossroads in the path, and the pug abruptly stopped barking by the time they reached a particular tree. Archie was still talking to the dog when a set of wind chimes hanging from one of the gravestones got slapped, hard enough that Archie says he could tell, by the way it moved, that something physical had struck it. There hadn't been a breath of wind through the cemetery all afternoon. That night, Archie, who posts on YouTube as Terrorful Sight, went back to the cemetery with a trail camera.
It's behind you!
And this is what he caught.
Bro, it looks like it's manifesting. Nope, gone. Poof.
Skeptics could argue a draft caught the wind chimes, that animals or insects could have set them off, that the pug was reacting to a small mammal in the underbrush. All of those would be reasonable enough on their own. But the chimes were struck the way someone strikes them, directly, deliberately. The dog had been barking at the same spot before they started, and whatever Archie filmed when he went back later in the night was waiting for him in the dark. The cemetery had been empty when his pug started barking. It wasn't empty when Archie came back at night.
What did Archie see? Oh, more weird stories or weird news.
Here are your paranormal headlines in This Week in Weird. Out of southern Nevada, USGS recorded 17 earthquakes inside 24 hours about 80 miles from Las Vegas, just east of Area 51. Strongest hit magnitude 4.4 at a notably shallow depth, around 2.5 miles down. Geophysicist Stephen Burns flagged the cluster on X as, quote, an unusual place to get an earthquake. Geological consensus.
Yeah, it's probably because the United States is messing with some technology that they probably shouldn't be touching.
This is natural swarm activity tied to the Basin and Range province. Nevada's crust is slowly pulling itself apart, and these clusters happen. The timing is the harder part. The swarm peaked the same day Trump told reporters at the White House that the Pentagon had found very interesting UFO documents and that the first releases are coming soon. Reddit went straight to underground tests, secret tunnels, hidden reactors. The geologists are unbothered. The internet, less so. Probably nothing. Probably.
Probably.
And speaking of a disclosure pressure cooker, a televangelist is now claiming the government is briefing pastors to get ready for it. On April 27th, Cleveland, Tennessee evangelist Perry Stone uploaded a YouTube video saying a friend of his sat in on a closed meeting where US officials briefed pastors to prepare their congregations for the public disclosure of non-human craft, materials not from this earth, and, quote, very strange reptilian-looking creatures.
Demons?
Stone wasn't in the room himself. But Bishop Alan Didio of Revival Nation Church jumped on X on May 5th and posted, I was in this meeting and it's absolutely true. Joseph Zed and Tony Merkel echoed the account, naming an Airbnb in the mountains of Tennessee as the venue, roughly half a dozen Christian leaders in attendance. None of the officials named, no state confirmed, no transcript.
End of times,
whatever
let
you
it
make
happen.
of the source, the timing, right as Trump's promised UFO file drop, is doing its own narrative work. From religious disclosure briefings to a retired Army sergeant on Fox News with a Bigfoot story he's been telling for 33 years. This week on Fox and Friends First, retired Army Staff Sergeant Todd Nice recounted a 1993 military exercise in the Oregon Coast Range, where he and 3 other soldiers, handling live high explosives no less, say they watched 3 large hair-covered bipedal figures observe them from across a clearing for 25 seconds. Nice now runs the American Primate Conservancy, the non-profit he founded in 2015. He used to be a skeptic. 25 seconds is what changed him. He also flagged Ohio, currently ranked 4th in the country for Bigfoot sightings on the BFRO list, with a fresh cluster of reports in the wooded corridor between Akron and Youngstown this March. An Army sergeant with live explosives is a hard one to ride off.
Exposed to 3 of these, actually 3 of these creatures observing our exercises, and those 25 seconds changed the entire course of my life.
From a clearing in the Pacific Northwest to one of the most famous haunted houses in America. In Rhode Island Superior Court on April 29th, Judge Shannon Signore dismissed the lawsuit Elizabeth Greenhold filed last December to block the sale of the Conjuring House, the 18th century Burrowville farmhouse where the Perron family lived in the 1970s. The case Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated. The source
Jason Hawes is trying, I think he did, but I can't remember.
Material for the 2013 movie. Greenhalgh argued her sister, Jacqueline Nunez, lacked the capacity to sell the property to Ghost Hunters star Jason Hawes for $1.3 million. The judge ruled Greenhalgh didn't have standing. Dismissal was without prejudice. Greenhalgh's still seeking guardianship of her sister in Boston probate court, and there's a tangled mortgage situation behind the scenes involving Elton Castee, who tried to buy the house himself. So Hawes isn't the owner yet. Closer than ever. Not quite there. From Rhode Island to a village in Western Kenya, where a different kind of dread just turned up at the door. In Kenyanya, in Kenya's Kisii County, Damaris Joel says a hen appeared outside her home with its beak removed and a handwritten note tied beneath its wing. The note listed members of her family by name, each with a predicted date of death, written in red ink. Joel called her pastor and put the hen back where she found it. The next morning, another hen turned up in the same spot. Another note under its wing. She suspects witchcraft. According to the local Kenyan outlet Tuko, this isn't the first such incident at her home. The pastor told her whoever placed the hen would come back for it. The family's still waiting. One last thing before we kick back to the countdown. Our second channel, Slapped Ham Mysteries, has rebranded. New name, new tempo. It's now called Creepy and Cozy. Chilled, laid-back, eerie stories built for sleep listening. I'll be narrating historical paranormal cases, freaky encounters, and the kind of spooky true crime that creeps up on you slowly.
Ooh.
Same slapped ham DNA, slower BPM, links in the description if it's your thing. That's your weekly pile of weird.
Go subscribe for
countdown.
more.
In May of 1973, two children exploring a quiet meadow on England's Isle of Wight claimed they encountered something extraordinary. Not a ghost, not quite a person, and certainly nothing they had ever seen before. According to their account, they came face to face with a 7-foot-tall figure dressed in bright colours, who introduced himself simply as All Colours Sam.
Oh, God.
The aunt and her friends couldn't find the cemetery. They'd hiked up an overgrown road on a Virginia mountainside looking for the headstones of an old family burial ground, and after hours of searching, they turned back. None of them had seen another person on the mountain that day. When she got the photos developed, there was someone in the frame.
Oh, like somebody from the 1700s.
A young girl stands in the dense brush, half obscured by tangled branches and dry stalks, looking directly at the camera.
I thought
she
it was
wasn't there when the photo was taken. The aunt is sure of it.
Did somebody die out there?
The image was posted to Reddit's Paranormal forum by user Damien Querty, who says his aunt has had the photo in her possession for the past 20 years.
And just now
the
talking
story
about
behind it is one she's told the same way every time. They hiked up looking for headstones near Standardsville, Virginia, didn't find the cemetery, and didn't see the girl while they were there. The photo was taken on film and developed at a chemist, not on a phone, not editable with a swipe.
So,
around the same time, the aunt asked a Ouija board who the girl in the picture was.
Don't do that.
The board spelled out a name and an age, Teresa Collier, 8 years old.
What the fudge?
Skeptics would point out that Ouija boards are notoriously unreliable, often producing names that can't be verified, and that the figure in the photo could simply be a hiker the aunt's group encountered but didn't register at the time.
A young
the family
hiker?
swears they were alone on the mountain, and the figure in the photo isn't an adult. She's an 8-year-old girl standing in the brush of a cemetery that nobody could find.
I'm just staying in my house. I ain't going anywhere anymore.
The drawer in this woman's hospital office has been taped shut for a reason, and the scary video shows what it does.
Somebody keeps opening it. Man, that would chill me if my drawers started opening.
The hospital where she works was renovated years ago, but the floor she works on used to be the pediatric ward. In the 1980s, a young boy died there of appendicitis. Her daughter, who posts on Reddit as Aspects21, says the boy hasn't left. He plays with electronics in the office, hits the code blue button in one specific room, and once shook a box of cupcakes off the floor. Lately, he's been opening this drawer no matter how many times she tries to seal it shut.
Look at the tape.
She's not the only one who's noticed. Patients have reported a young boy running through their rooms at night, peering through their windows.
Oh, gosh.
Several of them mention something painted on his face. Skeptics could argue the draw mechanism is faulty and the patient reports are exactly the kind of thing you'd expect from people on heavy medication. But the patient descriptions are consistent. The same boy, the same age, the same painted face. None of them have spoken to each other and none of them know about the 1980s death.
Oh, nobody knows about it, so how are they speaking about it? Boo.
You guys are hearing that, right?
Wynn says the activity in his house has been getting stronger since his cat died. He's been hearing things in the basement.
Hello? Ever since our cat passed away, things have kind of been picking up.
You think that's a cat doing that?
He goes down to investigate, camera in hand.
Hello?
Ah. Did the cat go in there?
Then something else happens.
Who are you? Get the hell out of here.
Whoa! Where'd the ball come from?
Dude. Stop.
The ball just came out of nowhere.
The clip was posted to Instagram by Wynn McPix, who's been documenting activity in his home for years. He says the cat had always seemed to keep whatever was here in check. Skeptics could argue that the chair was set rocking by Wynn's footsteps and that the ball came from off camera or had been hidden by the ankle the whole time. Both of those would be reasonable on their own. But Wynn was nowhere near the chair when it started moving, and the ball wasn't on the basement floor a moment before. He'd just been filming that exact spot. His cat is gone and the basement is getting more and more unsettling.
It's a basement.
Damn it. Who are you? Get the hell out of here. Jeez.
Ah, hold on. Dude. Hold on. I saw something. Let's playback speed. Let's bring it down.
Who are you?
Watch right here. It's been edited. See, look at it. Watch it pop out over here.
Yeah.
He took one video and put over top the other one and see right there. So he masked it. See, look at this right here. It's fake. Still creepy, but it's fake.
Jeez. Dude.
Ah.
Before we get to that #1 spot, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop every time we drop our scary and mysterious videos.
And it's free.
He didn't notice it while he was filming. He only saw it later, going back through the footage.
A dark figure. Ah!
Earlier that night, he'd heard noises in his house.
Forgot about this
He grabbed
one.
his phone, walked through the rooms, and recorded everything he could see, bracing for whatever was making the noise.
That's where you play whack-a-mole.
The scary video was posted on Instagram by Samp_Allen0418. The man hadn't been looking at the chair while he was filming. He'd been looking at the rest of the room, panning past furniture, scanning for whatever had made the noise. The camera caught what he wasn't looking for.
Whack-a-mole. Whack! It scared me, I'm not gonna lie.
Now remember to check out Free Cash if you want to earn some money while playing mobile video games. Just use my link in the description box down below there or scan that QR code right there and you'll get a $10 bonus after completing your first offer.
There you go.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the episode.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you so much
That was
for
a long
watching.
one.
If you can't get enough of the scary videos, then check out those 2 links there for more. Leave us some comments down below or smash that thumbs up button. It really helps us out in the algorithm. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.
Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this mega slapped ham scary compilation reaction with moi. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more, because we post scary videos and I post every single day. And if you guys like the content, subscribe, comment, like, and share, and then go over and do the same thing with slapped ham. Again, thank you guys for being here. Please take care, be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.